What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. You know, I done packed everything up. I'm about to be on a plane in a couple hours. I'm getting half sleep and a nap in a little bit, but I had to do this show because I had to talk to you and I had to tell you, because if I don't tell you, nobody will tell you the truth. But if it's your first time watching this channel, my name is Erica Williams. I'm a YouTuber. I say six-figure YouTuber. You guys know by now what it is. And I manage over 2 million in assets, mostly real estate, but also a lot of trucks. So there's a lot of different projects going on. There's a lot of different businesses going on. And if you watch this channel, pretty much documenting my journey. If you will look for me this week, I will be out of commission. I will be on vacation, but I do have a lovely 5-part series that I recorded, and I got my old boy in Uganda to break it down for y'all. So you have something to watch this week. It's very powerful. I hope you check it out. Now, I saw in this video I marked gentrification is hitting the middle class. And I'm going to give a couple articles and a couple of examples, but I want you to understand that what's happening here in Austin isn't just happening here in Austin, right? I went downtown today and everybody and their mom was out because the sun was out in the park and people were everywhere. At the same time, there was construction people working today on a Sunday, the Lord's Day, everywhere, because guess what? We just suffered from the storm. And also, as we're building and developing everywhere, some construction companies are like, hey, you're going to work on Sunday. Some of their subcontractors are working on Sunday. But I'm getting to this part because this is the $1 billion project proposed by Brody Oaks. And I'm going to say this with all love and respect I have in my heart. I have friends who are highly intelligent, super smart, and I think and a lot of them are in tech, and they kind of go, there's Erica doing that internet thing, but I am neck deep in real estate, neck deep in where opportunities are. And I've had not one, but 2 friends go, yeah, we're thinking about selling our house. And I immediately go, why would you sell when they're building a $1 billion giant project within walking distance? And honestly, for the other one, biking distance from your house. What are you talking about? I literally send them multiple articles. I don't know if you guys can see this article well. I hope you can. I'll see if I can zoom it in more. And here's what I learned. The average person that's watching me on YouTube, the average person that's, wanting to argue with me in the chat, they don't know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm really trying to be nice about it. But I literally spend hours of my day going through emails where people are sending me emails, sending me deals, sending me information on land, sending me information on masterminds, where you're going in the room with people who build businesses, buy land, build apartment complexes, you name it, they're deep in it. Okay? And I'm sitting here neck deep in it, and I tell you, hey, they're building this $1 billion thing right down the street from you. Haven't you been watching the news the past year? Haven't you seen the articles? Haven't you seen the zoning? Haven't you seen all these markups and stuff in the articles about complaining of how big this thing will be? And of course, both of them, very intelligent, extremely intelligent, beautiful wives, were like, no. I didn't realize a 3 million square feet of development, basically a little domain on 38 acres, was happening down the street from my house. And this proves my point on many levels. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, that you can be uber niche and uber talented and don't know jack shit. You can be an amazing businessman or woman and make a ton of money in your niche and still not know diddly. Every day I get on the phone with people who teach me new businesses, new ideals, new things I've never even heard of, right? And there's a reason I keep bringing this tech to you guys, because what you're going to see, and I'm breaking it down in the training that is absolutely free on this channel for the next week, that literally in the next 3 to 5 years, when I bring on different business owners to tell you that, hey, Apple just came and dropped a campus in the middle of this neighborhood, and now the homes in that neighborhood are $500,000. The people who've lived over there all those years are like, what? It's completely changing that street and off of Palmer, where I live, where I never lost power during this Texas storm. And I'm not going to say because of Samsung. I'm not going to say because of all the tech on this street, but I'm going to say because in proximity, that area is pretty daggone shored up. I'll say it that way. And you can get on the phone and talk to people who are very smart at their job. They may be very great. I mean, listen. They could be great businessmen, great businesswomen, but if they don't know certain components, they sound like a caveman to you. You'll be talking to them, be like, how do you not know this big thing is on your arm? And that's basically how gentrification works. A lot of people will be sitting in a neighborhood and they'll be just on autopilot. They just drive home on autopilot. They just walking their dog on autopilot. Their kids are going to school on autopilot. And then all of a sudden, this giant $1 billion project is being built in their backyard. And this man, y'all, this man is very smart. He saved up a lot of money. He is right down the street from this place. And I literally said, you're going to sell your house now before it's built? Before what's built? Go look it up. Like, nah, man, we're going to rent our house out. I'm like, yeah, that's how you do it. You rent that shit out. You make money because this area where you're at, where you position yourself, if your house has already got $100,000 in appreciation, what happens once this $1 billion project's in? Because everybody's not gonna be able to live in the tiny South domain, is what I'm calling it, until they give it a better name. Brody Oaks is stupid to me, but I get it. Until, you know, you have to understand what these people are telling you is that I've been on autopilot. I'm driving past a $1 billion industry right beside my house, and I'm in autopilot. That's what most people are doing. So what you're going to start seeing, and there's a couple articles I want to share them, see if I can share them, but Amazon, Tesla, even these little that you think are not that big, oh, they're coming and they're building these type of domain projects where people will want to live in here, work in here, shop in here. It'll be its own enclave. And I'm going to say this is not ugly, but when the Black Lives Matter thing was going on, the domain here in North Austin, I was in an Airbnb for 2 weeks because we were all celebrating from stuff. So I'm down there and I'm laughing it up. And then I try to get back into the Airbnb, and it's contractors, it's police, everybody protecting what? The domain, protecting this economic powerhouse. Now, Black Lives Matter was way downtown Austin with the homeless people. It wasn't even coming up north, but they had already boarded up the buildings. They had protected all this glass. They had contractors out there. You're not going to mess with the money. All right? And they have 7 more of these things going to be built in and around Austin. And I'm telling you, because if you drive down South First right now, and go down Congress and a couple other streets that are like, they're building basically ghost apartments. No one's even living in them. They're building them with the anticipation for people coming to Austin. And they're building multiple of these domains things because the companies come to that domain, put their company there. And I'm meeting guys, black men, white men who work for EA Sports and all this stuff. And they go, yeah, all I saw was where my job was and how close could I be to it? Because they're coming from California. They're coming from Virginia. They're coming from places where they've sat in traffic for an hour. So depending on who they are, if they've got a wife, their wife may be like, hey, for a 30-minute drive, I can get this giant old house out in Pflugerville. I can get this giant old, way on the edge of Pflugerville. I can get this giant house in Georgetown. I can get this giant house in other places. But the bulk of who's coming, the young people, and this is why I love people, and I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna love that tutorial I give over the next 5 videos, because I'm showing you what's about to happen. I sit in too many meetings, and what's funny is a bunch of black wholesalers and investors in real estate came to Austin. None of them live in Austin. Flew into Austin to do a business mastermind. But you guys may have saw it. Max Maxwell, who's out of North Carolina, Chris Investor, who's out of Houston, another dude who's out of Dallas, another dude who's out of Charlotte, another dude who's out of San Antonio, some other dudes who are out of New York and Florida, but they came here to Austin. So when people are like, why are you in Austin? I'm here because I get it. Most people want to wait 3 to 5 years before they come here and all this stuff is going to be building all over the place. But today I went to the park, and I probably put the video up on Instagram, and it was just hundreds of people sitting out of the park, enjoying life, doing whatever, parking wherever. When the city has an energy and a movement forward, people like to get here. And I'm just trying to give y'all this insight, because just like my friend who literally lives down the street from this $1 billion project that's going to be going on, that's walking distance from his house, this is where someone is so blind they can't see. They can't see, and because this is why, when you get good at doing your thing, and let's say you do one thing, let's say you're a truck driver. I've met truck drivers who've been trucking so long, they can tell you in and out and back and forth and the seasons and the gas prices and little hole in the wall places and little places to eat. Man, they can tell you so much about trucking that blow your mind because they're immersed in it. Okay? But when you start asking them questions outside of trucking or on the other side of trucking or as an owner of a trucking, sometimes they can't help you. Because that's not their perspective. That's not what they know. That's not what they do every day. It's just not. I told y'all earlier this year, I got invited to be in a group of a plane ownership group. And people are like, what does that mean? Basically, it's a $250,000 plane. 10 people go in on the plane. And you basically rotate the chair. Right? Okay? And this is part of what I'm trying to get people to understand. That a lot of this is popping up and people don't even recognize it, right? San Francisco is taking a massive hit right now. And people that used to live in San Francisco and it was normal, then all of a sudden tech came and blew it up. They're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Because you hear people in California go, oh, no, it's just San Francisco people leaving. No, baby, it's people leaving Los Angeles. It's people leaving all parts of California. And I just had a friend from New York just try to argue me about, well, taxes in Texas are like 12%. In New York, they're 13%. And I'm like, baby, if you honestly believe New York taxes are 13% and Texas taxes are 12%, baby, you got to keep it moving. You are intellectually dishonest if you truly believe that. I would even argue with people when I first moved here from North Carolina. I was like, well, North Carolina tax is only 12%, but it's 12% on your income. Okay. There you go. AI jobs popping up. Okay. A lot of people just aren't thinking 1 to 3 years out. People said Pflugerville was far. This is the time to move there. Here's the funny part. I'm meeting people in Pflugerville who are Black, who are coming here from Ohio because they read about Pflugerville in the news and went online to realtor.com and found cheap houses. This happens every week where I'll be at Torchy's. I'll be somewhere and, you know, just as brown people, we see each other like, hey, what's up? You know, and start a conversation. It blows my mind every time. And so that's why when I tell people about tech, I'm like, if you're a Black person or a Latino person living in or near Austin, talking about lying in the tech, that's like somebody saying they're not in the military. Prime example, I was in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, where I live, where I grew up a lot. And there were over 700 jobs just around the medical industry. Let me say that again. 700 jobs just around. So you would meet people who were on Fort Bragg and they were doctors, they were dentists, they were all kind of people. And people looked at them like, well, you're a soldier. And immediately they were checking, like just disregarding this person's experience. Do you know what I'm saying? Because they were automatically assuming. It's the same thing in tech. That's why I keep bringing on different tech people, because you go in an office and to make some of these really big offices run, it takes 70, 80 different types of jobs. And I'll say that just as on a small level, me going from just me to 45 and like not 45, it was closer to 32 across different companies, part ownership of different companies, 32 people back down to like now 12 people, really closer to 15. Trust me, there's different components to businesses, and the bigger these businesses get, they have multiple departments. That's why when someone tries to explain something to me and I'm like boo boo, I move different from you. I swim different from you. I'm in different lanes than you. I go to masterminds with people, everybody in the room is making $500,000 and they're just trying to go to the next thing. Long-term game plan. Like right now, UT has people who years ago dropped $1 million, right? $1 million ain't nothing small to laugh at. Or they did an installment of $1 million over 10 years, 20 years, whatever. They invested in the college. And so they get some say. They get seats and they get some say. Well, now you got new tech money coming in, buying those same people's positions. And so you had the song, The Eyes of Texas Are Upon You, which has racist background. There's a lot of songs that have racist connotations or slave songs that we didn't know were slave songs. And those old alumni have threatened the Black students to shut up about it, or they would mess with their careers. Well, guess what? The new tech, now again, this is all hearsay. Somebody from UT, if you see this, don't cuss me out. Don't block my tickets. Don't do that. But the new money that came in there said, who said that to you? I'll make sure you get a job. We're here with tech. We'll get your foot in the door. What you talking about? And you have to understand that a lot of these football players, they don't go on to play in the NFL. They get jobs via favors. And if your cousin, Bunky, Booley, Billy, whoever didn't get a job coming out of playing football at a college, a D1 and up college, he wasn't doing the right stuff. Because trust me, they take care of these kids, and they alumni websites literally hire them off of nostalgia. There's websites, and I can, if my cousin Charles wouldn't cuss me out and get in trouble, I would show y'all the websites where people literally, they put up their headshot with a jacket on, holding a football, smiling, and then they put their resume, what they're interested in, on the right hand side. Trust me, these people come out the gate getting jobs, y'all. So a lot of this new money that's coming into Austin is going to clash with the old money. That is to be expected. That is to be expected. And part of my training and the tutorial I'm doing is showing y'all, when you talk about Generation X, where you're talking about 40 to 59 years old, you're talking about a set and a generation that's going to do one particular thing. When you start talking about, and I'm even say, I'm going to cut millennials in half. Young millennials, people under 30, the way jobs work now, no, honey, they ain't gonna work like that. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I've been watching a couple people's channels, and I'm in a couple masterminds. Watch after the Summer Olympics. It will be hard to get LLCs. I'm gonna just say that. There's about 10 people in this group that said that, and I know it to be true, because there's so much I could go in, but I'm not. But it'll be hard to get LLCs, because what you're gonna see is a lot of companies are going to do restructuring, where they ain't got employees, but they got contractors, or they got 1099. And what's so funny is, even now, as I talk about 40 to 59 versus younger people, I was in a group of truckers, and the truckers are like, yeah, it's illegal to offer 1099 and not offer no benefits. And I was like, dude, I pay through Gusto. I can still offer you benefits with 1099. It's my choice. I think you should be responsible for your own health care, because then you're going to take care of your body better. You're going to eat better. You're not going to drink and eat crap all the time. You're going to, when you want to go to the hospital, you can go. You ain't going to be worried about me paying for it. And what people don't want to understand about this is, that's going to be the wave of the future. That whole company driver thing, that's to coddle older drivers. That's going to be a wrap. If you're under 35, that's going to be a wrap. But I just want to point this out. This is a prime example to me where people are asleep at the wheel, and they think they know a lot, and they do. They know a lot in their lane. Now, this is called the Commercial Property Executive. It's called cpexecutive.com. Please go on this website. Check this out for your own. Don't let me just tell you something. I'll just show you what me and the masterminds I'm in are discussing, right? I'm going to a mastermind this week out of the country. Trust me. Don't just take my word on it. This is highly researched, okay? Now, this is a town. This is in Mississippi. Now, I don't know if y'all noticed me post something on the community page of the Black lady who is wanting to buy up several buildings downtown Mississippi, and Mississippi's basically bending over and kissing her butt and doing it because they know it looks bad if they don't, for one, okay? And for two, here's another thing in Mississippi, fulfillment center. I'm going to just tell you like this. In the next 3 to 5 years, you're going to see a bunch of stuff just like this pop up in Mississippi and Alabama and parts of Texas, where they're going to build this 700,000 square foot facility, and it's going to create 1,000 jobs upon completion. Okay. But also, what they're not telling you in this, because they have additional locations in Olive Branch and Bahalia, or however you say that, that they're going to have a bunch of IT there, AI there, and a bunch of tech jobs there, high level jobs. Yes, you're going to get a lot of regular workers, but there's going to be a lot of high-level jobs. They sold 875 acres that was owned by the Madison County Economic Development Authority. Let me say that again, Madison County Economic Development Authority. Okay? They sold it to them for $800,000. You tell me where you can get 875 acres for $800,000, less than $1 million. Y'all let me know where y'all find that, okay? Now, the project's set to be done in August 2021. I just want you to understand that anything around this little area, they're going to build, I'm just going to tell you, they're going to build like a little campus for their people. It's not going to be like the main thing I'm showing you, but it's going to be similar. Put this on your watch list. I promise you. Take pictures of the town now if you're in Mississippi and come back to this. And y'all gonna see what I said was true. Now let's go over here and try it again. Let's go over here and do this one. Black Creek Group buys 165 acres for Dallas Industrial Park. I'm trying to show you a theme here. I don't know if you'll understand it or if you'll get it. But trust me, they spent 2 years amassing dozens of parcels in a high demand area. So when I talk about wholesalers and people try to make, well, oh, wholesalers ain't got no money. Wholesalers usually feed up the pipeline to somebody like these companies. Right? You run around knocking doors, selling stuff for cheap. You done sold 42 parcels to a company, and they roughly own 10 million square feet of real estate in Texas. And they will own 100% of this property. Y'all, honey, if I could say what I want to say on the internet, this man's internet. Anyway, definitely put this on your list. Go back and check this. Okay. Another thing, because see, again, when people try to tell you that, oh, Texas is broken, Texas is gonna be broken, and Texas ain't got no money, and Texas, I'm like, y'all, I'm in too many masterminds, I'm in too many development meetings, I'm in too many economic development meetings. Like, there's a reason I'm purchasing in north of Austin. There's a reason they're building something there. Massive buildings going on. Where I'm getting property and land and buying up little pieces of parcels of land around it. Too much stress on my end. But again, another thing, the pennybacker. It's a M2G to read it up, a Dallas industrial asset. The project will transform a 1960s Chicago-style warehouse into the state-of-the-art facility. See, what people don't understand is people say, oh, manufacturing's never coming back. It's just never coming back. That's not true. It's going to come back, but a lot of this stuff is going to have robots working a lot of it. And you're going to have a degree. You're going to have certifications to know how to work IT. Prime example, there was a guy today fixing on the, you go to the toll road and the computer is taking a picture. There was one guy with his laptop plugged into the pole working it today. And I was like, imagine that. Imagine how he probably used to take tons of guys to fix this thing. And now it's one with the laptop plugged into the pole. It's crazy. All right. So again, this company acquired 1.2 million square feet portfolio of distribution centers and corporate headquarters. Okay. Y'all go read this for yourself. A lot of people are sitting here going, oh, these empty facilities. Yeah, commercial's gonna crash. I'm like, who wanted it to crash, y'all? Who wanted it to crash? They're coming into listen, y'all. When people tell you about trucking and they tell you stuff, I'm telling you, the reason I stick with trucking, probably gonna stick with it for another 10 years, is because they are charting the highways and parking facilities in Texas. I have maps that show me the next 10 years of what's being built. Just going with the economic development community, just going to the county commissioner, going back and forth in meetings. Again, y'all see me and y'all think I don't be doing nothing all day, but making YouTube videos and goofing off. Girl, bye. When people, and that's why when people say, well, if you have all this money, you'd be buying all these cars and all this crap. Honey, real people with money, they're not buying a bunch of cars and bullshit. They're buying land. They're buying bigger deals than you fucking know. Okay? So again, go on this website, spend a day on it, and blow your mind. That's all. If you want to know how something's going to look, go on there and spend a day or two. Because see, most people are like my friend. Love him to death. His wife's a beautiful woman. She's great. They're both nice. Driving right by this thing that's going to be a mammoth in their backyard. That will probably make their house worth $1 million. And they were going to sell at $500,000? That tells you how just completely out of sync people are with the news, with daily life. And this is why I don't stress when people don't buy courses. They don't buy stuff. Right now, the courses are like 75% off with the birthday code March Baby. And I go look and see how often y'all open them and if y'all finish them. And this is why I don't want to make any more courses, because I understand the kids, your spouse tripping, you got to cook dinner, you got to do all this stuff. I understand that. Trust me, I understand. But you're going to have to make some decisions. Because you can sit on autopilot and you can coast, but baby, let me tell you, this stuff that's gonna get built up around you. Ooh, honey, y'all about to get, some people about to be moved out and they don't even realize they're getting moved out. Okay. Again, I drove by this neighborhood and this house looks like it's on 45th Street in Austin. Bunch of houses over there look like shacks, old shacks. I drove by this one place. I always used to go check because my friend used to live over there. He used to rent, him and his friend used to rent over there. They've torn that house down and built two in its place. And those people in that neighborhood, they're old Austin money. They've been in Austin for a while. Imagine somebody coming in and literally buying two buildings that are worth $400,000 each piece, tearing them both down and building a duplex in its place, a modern one. Honey, some people don't even know it's about to hit them. So I see this. Congratulations, man. All right. Tulsa, Oklahoma, about to move to Dallas. Welcome. Let's see here. I see what's up? Washington, Tacoma, all these people. Listen, Tam, get your business journal, local newsletter from incubators from all over the city in driving distance and drive for dollars, even if you're not buying. You have to decide, and I'm going to do a series on the real estate channel, and I'll share it in the community tab probably, where I talk about some of our real estate plans. And people are like, why are you sharing your plans? You're, oh my God, can't share people your plans. Honey, I share them because I know ain't nobody going to do nothing with it. You can tell somebody there's gold on the street next to them and they won't go do nothing with it. I promise you. Rashad, I'm glad you enjoyed. I'll be visiting Seattle here shortly. I have to go visit some family. I'm telling you, listen, even being here I've been here since technically 2011 in Killeen, but technically 2012. There were properties for sale for 100 that are now for sale for 400,000. And people are like, oh, you're being dramatic, Erica. You're just bumping up Texas. You're talking big about Texas. And I'm like, y'all, there are people who lived in Texas their whole life and are like, what just happened? Right? Like they were here when it was desert and trees and nothing in Pflugerville. They were here when Hutto was farmland. They were here when northern Austin meant literally the domain. That was north, and there was nothing there. 1970s, 1980s, nothing there. So you have to understand, like I'm talking to people who've moved all the way to Liberty Hill. And now Disney just came out there and bought 300 acres of Liberty Hill. I can't even tell you all the stuff that they're going to do to this area. And so when people are like, well, there ain't no black people there, I can't go because there's no black people. I was at the park, y'all, today, and it was black people everywhere. Everywhere. We doing the head nod as they walk by. What's up? What's up? Hey, what's up? Again, it's all about where you're looking. Can't wait for a show on tech. We don't have another show on tech till like next Tuesday. I'll be off enjoying my life. Sorry. See, listen, but that's the thing. They've moved to Arizona to try to save money from living in California. And then instead of in their mind going, what can I do with it? They've immediately went, I'm going to buy Hellcats. That's what happens. Who's Charles? Why is Charles cussing me out? Oh, my cousin Charles. Yeah, my cousin Charles would cuss me out. He'd be ready to. He a cop now. Let me see here. Yeah, I'll just put it to you this way. There's gonna be a lot of companies that's gonna let y'all go, and I want y'all to hear me now. Go Google these articles on the virus. A lot of these companies are gonna let y'all go and then offer you a consultant job. Go look at your job right now. Go on Indeed and go see if your job's hiring for consultants. Watch it. They're not going to offer you, it's a contract job. They're like, Erica, that can be temporary. Diamond Dave did a really great one today. I was listening as I was walking Town Lake about people in these jobs, and they think, well, I've been in my job 20 plus years. They owe me this and they owe me that. I'm going to tell you in the little tutorial I put, that's why 40 to 59, you can be on a whole nother projection to you 70 and retire. These people under 35, it's a different lane. The average person stays at a job less than 3 years. And I'm going to tell you something, just to tell you about some, not making fun of my friends. Some of my friends are 45, 46, 47. They've been at jobs for 10, 14 years. And they're like, yeah, I'm switching jobs. I'm just so sad. I'm like, you've been at that one job 14 years in Austin this whole time. Like, blew my mind. The one dude left. One of my friends was at a company for 10 years, been here in Austin. He left, went to another company, helped this startup build up, helped them hire new engineers. And then his old company called back and said, man, come on, man, we'll give you 25 grand more. Come on, man, come back. It's hard finding young, experienced people who are dedicated to the job. So don't be discouraged if you're 40 to 59. If you got the experience, and you can't get paid just off experience, but if you got the dedication and you're going to work because they know you are, they'll keep you. I'm telling you right now, I got somebody work for me at 61 years old, outworks every damn person on the whole company. It's from a different era. It's from a different age, a different mindset. They don't work like somebody under 35 who's like, well, I need my vacations and my work-life balance, but barely give you full work when they're there. Come on, man. Come on, man. Okay. See what else y'all got in here. Listen, they're going to get y'all. Amazon just put up a bulletin for Amazon employees that want to be retrained in tech. I'm telling you, because they're going to have, some of y'all going to have to move. Some of y'all going to have to do something else, and y'all don't even know. They want you to get up out of there, is what they want. And you don't even know him. By the time you figure it out, just like my friend who was getting ready to put his house on the market, common sense would say, let me Google my neighbors. Let me look on realtor.com. Let me see what the prices are. Sometimes you get in a mode where you're with your husband or your wife or whatever, and you're like, well, we're going to do this. We're going to move over here, and completely ignore everything else that's going on around you. Completely. And that's how I know when I'm talking about business things on this channel, and I'm talking about trucking, and I'm talking about real estate, something I'm immersed hours with. I'm on the phone with people building $1 million developments. I'm on the phone with people building stuff in Baltimore. I'm on the phone with people building stuff in Dallas. I'm on the phone with people building stuff in Atlanta, where it's not cheap. I know what I'm talking about. I'm literally doing this because I'm like trying to ring the bell on this channel. I'm like, please wake up. If you're home right now, please wake up. You're going to have, when they kept saying that word, dark winter, boy, I wish I could go into this deeper, but I'm going to save it. When they talked about dark winter, there are going to be a sea of people unemployed. We already see it right now. There is, I'm just a joking matter, but I'm not joking. There's a 6'3" white man that stands on the corner near where our apartments are. Clean cut, boots, everything. First thing in my mind is like, unless you killed the person or you just got out of prison, sir, what are you doing on this corner? You are a 6'3" white man. If at minimum, some woman would pick you up and take you home. At second minimum, these construction sites out of here let you come pick up trash. You can get on as just about anybody's help buddy. I've seen Mexican teams at a construction site, and there's 2 black guys getting in the back of the truck. Honey, they'll give you a job because the job's got to be done either way. So when I see people, I already know they have let themselves get out of the matrix. How are you homeless in Austin? It's too many opportunities, and it's too many places. Like, you literally can drive all the way to Killeen and get $400 rent if you want. You can drive all the way to South Austin and get some $500 rent if you want it that bad. Or you can go be somebody's roommate for $450 right down the street. So there's something going on with you up here that you don't realize this is happening. But after talking to a couple of my friends who are sitting right beside something this big, I'm like, well, damn, maybe people are that asleep at the wheel. They don't even realize it till it hit them. Listen, come on, Canton is 20 miles north of Jackson. But guess what's going to happen to them, Ashton? They ain't going to live there no more. Property value for the homes that's already there is going to go up. I already know 4 or 5 people even listen, go inside this. If you want to test me out, don't just take my word for it. Go on Facebook and type in Mississippi, type in Alabama. Go look up wholesaling groups on those areas. These people work together in groups, massive groups, and interact with each other all day. Be very clear. There's 17 million vacant homes in America. The majority of people who own land in Mississippi actually live in Chicago. Go Google this for yourself. Many of the descendants of Mississippi people who own land live in Chicago. So if those people aren't ever returning to Mississippi, if Amazon or one of these people keep calling you, hey, would you like to sell this land? Would you like to sell this land? Hey, this is Jeffrey. Would you like to sell this land? Eventually, what are they gonna do? They're gonna sign and keep it moving. Did you know the number one day people sign a lot of these wholesaling contracts is on Friday? You know why I think it's Friday? Because that person gets to the end of the week and is like, F it. This ain't gonna work. I'm not gonna be able to keep this house. I'm not gonna be able to keep grandma's house. I'm not gonna be able to keep cousin Benny's house. I'm not gonna be able to keep it. Let me go ahead and sign and get this little bit of money. Just telling you. Infrastructure, cold storage, all this stuff. I'm telling you, listen. All this stuff, y'all. Virtual health, energy tech, drones, cybersecurity, Atlantic. Tell them, listen, y'all. I keep trying to tell y'all, and I know y'all don't believe it, but I'm just the stuff, the meetings I sit in, I be like, what? A lot of reshuffling going on. Yep, there's a new women's PGA going in by Frisco. Yep, you're gonna have tournaments all out there. Dr. Dix, hopefully you get to see the tutorial I do this week on automation. It's a combination of automation and me just telling you what's gonna happen for the next 3 to 5 years. I've just sat in several great meetings, but I was like, damn. And that's why when y'all hear me talking about family business and why I still stay in trucking, I'm not like super leg heavy and buying a bunch of trucks because that's old. That's an old man's model. That don't work no more. That model has changed. Even this Amazon relay, all these young people trying to get their foot in the door. I'm gonna tell you right now, it doesn't build your MC or DOT rating. So you're stuck. You have to keep working for Amazon because it's almost like when you leave it, it's like you starting from day one scratch. Now, can you make money as a day one authority starting from scratch? Yes, there are always going to be brokers that call you because they need this move. That's period, point blank. That's on point blank, period. But when you leave some of these things, you're gonna be like, yeah, I've been in business for 3 years with Amazon Relay. And they're gonna go, yeah, but you don't have no other experience. And it didn't build your MC score or your DOT rating. Some people gonna get real surprised. Amazon ain't playing with y'all. You think Amazon doing something to help somebody? Please don't get it twisted. This Amazon thing, and I'm not knocking it because knock on wood, hey, be quiet. Our family's doing something for some of our family members to get in a Sprinter van. But I know this is just a $50,000 to $75,000 thing. After all expenses are paid, we pay the cousin, they're driving, great. End of the year, this was going to come out to. And I know it because I see young men like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm like, at some point, you have to be able to get out of the truck, let somebody else drive. Get out of the van, let somebody else drive. So there you go. Cheap prices here are gone by the PGA I'm telling you, PGA in Frisco. I'm telling you, 40 acres. Yep. There you go. Controls engineer pretty much log into any machine, whether land or on sea. I can fix 95% of them in my pajamas. There you go. And see, this is the thing. What happens is we have all these young, and I'm saying this with respect, all these young Latino and Black men. And I'm like, sir, wake up. You need to either get into these lanes where you know how to work these computers, or you will be manually laboring your body. And listen, if you ever meet a Black dude or a Latino dude that really works heavy construction, heavy like physical labor at 30 to 33, they look older than everybody you know. They be ripped, they be muscled, but they be looking older. Sun, combination, being outside, all kind of stuff. There's nothing wrong with trades. They're gonna be paid. It's just how long do you want to use your body? And if you really look at the model with trades, You are a young man and you do all the heavy lifting. Then you become a middle-aged man and then you're managing other people. Then eventually you become an owner and then everybody else is doing all the heavy lifting, moving their back and doing all this other stuff. Just telling you. That's right, smart city. See, listen. Todd just dropped a bomb of what I wanted to talk about. But you go to the Mississippi and we just said Canton in that area is rural. Watch, you're gonna go there. Smart city, smart town. Everybody's gonna be paying with a debit card. You're not gonna be able to use cash anywhere. And you're gonna have people in the rural area like, nah, man, I got cash. Oh, we don't take cash here. These little domain centers and all this stuff, y'all pay attention. If you haven't read Agenda 21 years ago, go read it. But what you're gonna have in a lot of these places is it'll be its own little isolated smart city, smart town. You'll go work there, you'll buy there, you'll eat there, you'll do all that stuff. There you go, El Vickers. Oh man, there's a lot of comments. Missing it. Hold on, I'm trying to get through them. Columbia, South Carolina, what's up? Listen, you can virtually drop your dollars in a deal machine. Yes, you can. So here's the thing. I get it. People are, don't come to Atlanta. Don't come to Atlanta. The die is already cast for Atlanta. It ain't gonna be Chocolate City forever. I'll put it to you this way. That Alpharetta, Marietta, they didn't want to be there. They wanted to be in Atlanta. But you'll see. Make sure you hit that like button. There's 377 people in here. Hit the like button, y'all. Likes are free. Come on now. March Baby was the coupon. That's right. March Baby is 75% off at classyclimbers.com. March Baby, listen, y'all slammed us yesterday. So if you sent emails, you sent responses, staff at classyclimbtx.com. If he hasn't responded yet, we'll respond later this week. I ain't responding. I'm going next week. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Tulsa, listen. I have friends who were in Oklahoma City. And at first, everybody was like, oh, you're leaving Austin to go to Oklahoma. That's so sad. And she's like, not really. Stuff going on here. And it is. That's right. Tell them. Las Colinas has been changing. There's an apartment deal. We're in a group. Yep. Kroger is even testing out in California where it won't be no people in there. You just go and check it out. Honey, you better tell her, keep it. Keep it. Oh, I'm not telling anybody to leave Oklahoma. I'm saying you can stay where you are. But at the end of the day, you may need to be boots on the ground. Like, this is what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. This is happening in multiple cities. When I keep telling you about New York and California, you're like, oh, quit beating up on New York and California. I sit in conferences where they're talking about companies. Like, you thought 18,000 companies leaving California was crazy. There's another projected 15,000 that are leaving. And California is like, hey, what can we do to keep you to stay? How much taxes do we need to reduce? Because that's what they're going to start playing. Like the way New York right now. If you come to New York with a brand new company, you come or you bring your company there, they'll give you 5 years or 10 years, no taxes. But at that year 10, they're going to tax the hell out of you. So I know what I'm talking about. And I sit in way too many meetings. Oh, it's low. It's low. Listen, we're gonna look up in Canton, Mississippi. Please put it in your notes. Please Google this place. Google everything you got on Canton, Mississippi, realtor.com, everything you got. And I want you to bookmark it, what the price is, and come back a year from now. Watch. See, listen, if you had a job for 13 years, and I'm not being funny, but you're going to be so comfortable. It's going to be hard for you to move again. Hard for you to switch jobs. And they know it is. They know it's hard for you to switch jobs. And that's why when I got 2 friends that have been working with IBM their whole freaking adult life. like through a favor of a friend, got in on IBM. IBM been struggling for years. Okay. And I get it. And everybody's like, well, Erica, what about if you see, this real estate's going to crash, Erica, it's going to crash. Y'all, I don't think you understand what I'm saying. And that's why I put that tutorial that's coming out the rest of the week, because the crash may be happening in Boogaloo, nowhere, Ohio. But go look at Columbus, Ohio right now. I want you to really go look at Columbus, Ohio, and that they're selling $1 million houses in Columbus, Ohio. In Ohio, where Ohio's been getting brain drained, people drained for the past 10 years. There'll be sectors and positions in cities that boom. Will there be some places that crash? Yeah, but not really. Again, I keep telling y'all, the reason people keep bad mouthing wholesalers, oh, these wholesalers, it's saturated, everything's saturated. I'm like, y'all, there's 17 million vacant houses in America. You don't think these companies, when I just showed you that other page, when I just shared you that page, you don't think they go around looking for areas where it's a lot of vacant homes, it's a lot of people not living there, and then just go around with a 5-year to 10-year plan, like, we're just going to buy up everything in this little corner. Y'all don't think that's happening? Come on now. I'm telling you, Frisco's hot. Anything 250 to 300,000, it's gonna be hot. Listen, tell them. See, people don't even know they out there eminent domain. You don't want to sell. Oh, you don't want to sell? No worry. We call the city and tell the city that we need that land to make it important. Now, are they gonna stick with you, Uncle Jenny Ben, who has 1 acre and barely pays $500 in property tax? Or are they gonna go with Amazon? That's all I'm saying. Tech, again, like I gave my ideal earlier, and I'm trying to break it down to you. When I was at Fayetteville, Fort Bragg, people would insult soldiers like they were dumb. And you'd be talking to a damn doctor. There's 700 careers just on the medical side in the military. So just like tech, you can go in a company and I had friends trying to get me in the door entry level for different jobs. And I'd be like, well, I don't know anything about tech. And they go, Erica, this is an entry level job for admin work. You're fine. $75,000 a year. And that was just getting my foot in the door. When you see these big branch companies, there's hundreds of different types of jobs. And the problem is, and I'm being honest, in certain communities, it's not just Black, sometimes it's Latino, and sometimes it's white. We aren't exposed to those people. In every city I've moved to, I learned new companies, new jobs. Because our natural nature is to tell our friends and family in a circle, right? We just tell our friends and family, hey man, I got this really great job, this is what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. And then you tell your friends. Well, maybe that's 20 people that know you got this really great job in this really great field doing this unique thing. I remember I was at this event and this guy came. I saw him. I was like, oh, hey, I saw you at the singles event. Well, I was still at apartment management. He comes and he's filling out his paperwork. And I'm not trying to be funny, but this guy was 5'2". And, most women won't pay him no attention at the event. And I looked down and his pay was $165,000 a year. And I was like, well, what do you do? And he explained to me what he did at the tech place. And I was like laughing because I was like, some woman's going to figure out that your 5'2" self make $165 a year and it's a wrap. They don't know, so they ain't paying you no attention. And he dressed like Graham Stephan. Ain't nobody was paying him no mind. And I laughed because I'm like, that's going to be the future guys who have some say in things. It ain't muscular Jeff who's a UPS driver making $50K a year. It's not him. He gonna get wherever he get in, and it ain't gonna be high. It's the guy who's out tech, who has some little niche job. He done been paid off his student loans. He been paid off all his cars, and so now he's just taking his money and investing. I brought on Lane to show you he's an engineer, and everybody in that investment club is either from Hawaii with the houses that they refinanced, or they're a bunch of engineers or software tech people, some military people in here buying apartments together. Let's just say that again, okay? So yes, do I think tech's the way to go? I do. If you're a woman, and I'm going to say this in all niceness I can, if you're a Black or white or Latino woman and you work at a call center or you working admin work, honey, you better figure out how to break your damn neck and get into tech, because they've already released these automated phone call people. If anybody knows the name of it, it's a new AI, and they gave her a name, and they can use it on call centers. Plus, on top of that, call centers in Belize pay those people $12 an hour. So if somebody in Belize can do your job, do you think your job's gonna stay? I just don't know what to tell y'all, man. I know y'all kind of hearing me and you kind of not, but okay. Oh yeah, Bill Gates buying up stuff. Honey, you don't need to go back to school. And when you have family members saying that, I'm gonna tell you right now, when a bunch of family members are like, go back to school, go back to school. You know what it means to me? I'm gonna just tell you this in no disrespect. That means you're going home every weekend like, oh, my job sucks. Life is so hard. Stuff is expensive. Oh my God, Becca. And so your family's like, well, just go back to school. Go back to school. Go back to school. Go read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Go read the Cash Flow Quadrant book. Your family has done something safe and secure, which is like, go to school, get a safe job. But guess what? There's no safe jobs. There's no such thing anymore. This ain't factory work. You ain't going to go to school and come out and be guaranteed work. If you are a woman or a man and you are going to school for the validation of your family, God bless you, because you're going to be hurt. You're going to be financially hurt. When you could turn around and get one of these $200, $500 tech cert class trainings, boot camps, go in there and make money. Yeah, go to school if you want to. I have one family member that went to school just as they wanted to. They already making crazy money. They just wanted to have that kick off the wall. Like, yeah, I finished college. Everybody in my family's like, you make all this money and you have rentals. Why do you do that? Risk management will always be here, but you got to know banking is struggling right now. You got to know banking is going to cut most of these jobs in half. The way bankers are making money right now is snitching on PPP fraud. Banks are not banks. The old model that worked for banking, like, hey, you just have 2 years steady income and good credit and no mismarks on your payment history, and I can get you a house or a car. That model doesn't exist anymore. The average person switches jobs every 2.5 to 3 years. So by the time you get that solid 2 years in, and you qualify for that house and you qualify for that car, by the time you get in the house and move in and close, guess what? You probably are planning to quit that job. Do you know how many people have called me on consulting calls alone? There was a woman who, if I could find it, I would share it again. She watched this channel. She got mobile notary from Andre Hatchett. She qualified for her first condo in Houston. And this could have been a couple years, not 2 cars left. And her mortgage was like $300 a month. Do you know she quit her job that she'd been working for 18 years? Because you got to think about it. The cost of apartments in Houston, where she wanted to be, was $1,000+ a month, right? But here her mortgage is $318. Y'all don't understand. This is why when people are like, why is the housing market so crazy? Because the cost of an apartment versus the cost of a house, and the fact that you got a little more wiggle room and timeline of paying on that house, and also moving people in those different rooms, and you ain't got to beg no property manager, can they move in? You ain't got to beg somebody to do a credit check. Baby, you go in all these little houses and neighborhoods where it's $250,000 or $300,000 in Austin. It's like 4 freaking cars parked in the yard, in the driveway. And it ain't the owner. It's multiple people living at that house. That's very common. Repo business is booming. I believe it is. I'm telling you, that little creep up from 300,000 to 400,000. So many people can't afford those houses. Capricorn way, I've already told y'all, if you watch this channel, if you don't watch the channel, let go of that bullshit story of this self-driving. Oh, everything's going to be self-driving. It's going to be self-driving. The trucking industry invested in 30,000 Sikh Indians in 2017, 15,000 people, 2018, another 15,000 people, just to get drivers. It is cheaper for it's cheaper to go tell Biden, hey, I need 50,000 visas for drivers. Okay, I'll go get them. Than it is for you to go get self-driving vehicles. The amount of money you would have to pay up front is not logical. What takes people out of trucking is not just the repairs, not just the driver. It's really the paperwork. Okay. Oh Lord, that's so many comments. Yeah, Ray Anderson, stay there. Go ahead and stay in Oklahoma. Be there. That's right. Most new construction's on waiting list. Mm-hmm. Capricorn Way, you already know. Congratulations, other March baby. Listen, I keep, and this is why I tried to tell y'all that the first wave was the people who were like, "Hey, honey, boo boo, we gonna move. We gonna move to Texas. We out. We gonna move Texas. We gonna move somewhere cheaper. We gonna move south. We gonna move South Carolina." Like when I saw that girl move from Los Angeles to like Danville, Virginia, where rent's like $400 a month, but ain't shit going on there. I was like, your life has to be so stressful. You're like, I can't take it. I'll just move to the middle of nowhere and be here in this nowhere spot. No problem. I'll be here. It's cheaper anyway, right? And that's why when people try to sit there and, oh, nobody's leaving California. You have to pay freaking attention. When your best and your brightest are leaving a state, pay attention. I know people mock it and joke it. Erica, you always mocking and joking California, New York. Honey, like, look what's happening in Miami. This isn't a bunch of Guidos who own coffee shops in New Jersey leaving. These are your movers and shakers, your economical powerhouses leaving a state. Pay attention. Girl, Nashville. I love me some Nashville. I just could never get in there. There you go. Yep, they got to build. They're going to build a smart city. You know, Texas, right now, most people you meet, if they're going to Arkansas, they're retiring. They're not like going there for opportunity. Fayetteville, Arkansas is pretty decent, but it's like if you're leaving Texas for Arkansas, you're in a bad financial situation. Well, yeah, come on through. I mean, again, most people inside the Facebook groups communicate with each other, and it's pretty good. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's really, to me, that's almost like crazy. It's crazy that they're going to tax people for 10 years. There you go, Ashley Seams. I'm out here in the greater Austin area in the roofing industry. I drive around all day going to people's homes, and I'm seeing property snatched up left and right. Quick, Tracy. Ashley Seams, email my staff. I'd probably want to talk to you. You come by the office. If you're in the roofing industry, let's have a chat. Come by my office. And you can email me at staff@classyclimbtx.com and just be like, hey, Erica told me to come by the office in the chat. I'm sorry. I'm going to tell you this, and it's ugly. Chicago is beautiful and unique and has opportunity, but between the taxes and they're just bleeding people. When you have 50% of Black males have no job, you cannot run a city like that, right? You just can't. There's just that doesn't make mathematical sense how to run a city like that. There just isn't. It just isn't. I know everybody's like, oh, Chicago, Chicago, Chicago. And I'm like, yeah, no, sorry. Beautiful city, also broken city. Who's talking in riddles? I'm going to have to block you from the channel. You know, I get really tired of having to dumb down the conversation to like a fifth grader. I mean, is anybody, please put a 1 in the chat if you understand what I'm talking about. Put a 1 in the chat if you understand what I'm talking about. If you don't, put a 2. If you're lost, just please get off the channel. I know y'all think I'm being a bitch, but at the end of the day, name me another business person who's buying property, buying trucks, investing with other companies, and comes on YouTube and freely gives you game, freely tells you to pay attention and look out here. And here's other business owners I'll bring on my channel to talk to you for free and help you understand what's going on. And again, like I'm trying to tell you, Google transcribes every single word I say in these videos. So let's not be silly. Let's not be dumb. There you go, Benjamin. I'm telling you. Go look at all these Facebook groups. You'll see what I'm talking about. Thank you, crowd. I mean, sometimes I feel like people come on here just to troll. Dr. Dix, the number one thing I'm doing this year is training. Even myself, I'm going to be in training. James, I'm glad you did, because everybody know IBM be looking like they sweating. Like, oh, Lord Jesus, IBM, please stay open. The government has been watching the 8-hour lives done by crazy the last year and said good luck. They probably did. That would be good. Listen, Todd just said it. Anyone interested in tech and thinking about joining the Army in particular, try to get an MOS 3-5 set T. I swear to God, the best tech job in the Army. Y'all better write that down. A dude on Twitter said you can go to the county, pay someone else property taxes, and own the property if the people don't pay the property taxes. Honey, that's called tax liens. Google tax liens, okay? I know text is the way to do it now. You need to think about what's going to be popular in 10 years. But that's what just blew my mind. My friend is sitting beside this $1 billion development. And even him, a highly educated, highly paid, high six figures, almost making $200,000 a year, was like, what's happening beside me? Because he's so dialed in. So dialed into his job, just autopilot his life. It happens. Let me see what y'all got in here. College is a finesse. It can be. There was only certain people supposed to go to college, right? It's only certain people who's come to college, and it was only certain people. When you get there, if you notice the couples that marry and meet and go on life and after college, it's a class thing. But we'll leave it alone. Thank you. I appreciate it. Wavy W again. It's called networking. It's called talking to people. It's called being in Tamika's training. Go where people are. This is very true. Thank you, Christopher Catchings. I'm not sleeping on it. There's a lot of stuff, but I'm saying a part of banking. There's a part of banking that's going away. Like they built here in Austin and in Hutto a bunch of Bank of Americas and BBAs, right? BBVA, and it's not even a branch. It's like literally a wall with an ATM that's like super high tech, can take your deposit, can do all this stuff, and there's no branch. And you're like, I thought it was a branch. Like you'll type up on the internet, yes, you can deposit cash here. Yes, you can cash checks here. And people are like, well, that's not that important, Erica. It is for people who are farmers, who are local people who want to go in the bank and talk to somebody. They are. Fayetteville, Arkansas is pretty cool. There is a guy called Independence Realty Group. Go check him out on Instagram. They're using DocuSign. Yep. Send the haters to the wall. Listen, when O'Shea used to do that, I would die laughing. To the wall. Just blocking people left and right. It's hilarious. She was. See, that's what I know people are trolling. When they keep being confused every show, I'm like, baby, get out of here. This ain't for you. Y'all don't ask questions that are Googleable. I don't want to make fun of you, but if you ask me questions that are you can Google, I'm gonna be like, don't waste my time like that. Listen, I'm in Nashville. They got $1 million townhouses, and I was like, Y'all crazy. Then I went over to Charlotte and they had $1 million. I'm like, y'all, this is crazy. Mad Ninja, what's so funny about you talking about Indiana? Indiana is where I'm investing in some multifamily. Yep. Because there people drive over to work. You are right. You are right. I'm just saying, if you leave from Los Angeles, California to Danville, think about that. I'm just being honest. Think about it. I'm not knocking your grandma's city, but you leave from Los Angeles, California to Danville, Virginia. Something going on, baby. You need Jesus. Something's going on. Something happening. See? Yep. You want to go? You can't. You just got to talk to the ATM machine. That's all you're going to do. And that's what's going to happen in a lot of these places, these rural areas. You're going to be like, but I need to go into the store. Nope. Sorry, ma'am. So anyway, that's all I have for y'all. We've been an hour into this, but I just want you to say that. I just want to say this. A lot of people are super talented and they are in their lane and they are in their niche and they can do what they got to do. Right. But what happens is we think we know a lot of other stuff. We just don't know. Right. So my friend, he's a specialist. He's a high paid engineer, almost making $200,000 a year. But he didn't even know about $1 billion thing that's right beside him that could punch him in the face. So close. So again, go into the spaces and you really want to learn something, really learn something. Don't just make an observation. Really dig deep into those careers and those fields and see why are they doing this, right? I keep telling y'all my first love is real estate and I always want to have lots of real estate because every family I've ever interacted with that was old money, they've always had real estate. They've invested in a bunch of real estate or they own 100 properties in one town. Whether the town likes it or not, they control that town. Okay? You go to some of those towns now and you try to buy 100 properties, you spend millions of dollars. But their family went around buying it up, $30,000 houses at a time. So again, you know, the middle class people that are in some of these areas are going to be moved. And they thought gentrification for poor black people and poor people in poor areas was bad. No, you ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet. They're going to have these little campuses pop up everywhere, and you're going to be sitting at your house, and all of a sudden the taxes is going to be so high, you're going to be like, I got to move. I got to go today. Okay? So anyways, this is your girl, Erica from the Classic Climb Blog. Thank you guys for supporting the channel, super chatting. I will enjoy my birthday week, the 75% off at classyclimbers.com, coupon code MARCHBABY. Enrique will be emailing you and messaging you if you have any issues. Let Enrique know. He need to get back to you in response as soon as possible. All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. Congratulations, Ashton. Good luck. All right, you guys. See you in about a week.